I have mom brain,
There
so
you
like
go.
I'm like, sure.
Mike, your mic is muted.
Well, that's wonderful. I didn't do it.
Oh, I didn't do it, sir.
Somebody did.
Solid start
I said
as
all that fun
usual.
stuff and nobody. Yes.
I was like,
Amazing
what is he
intro.
doing?
I nailed it, and you guys didn't even know.
We're just talking off the air about how much like our brains, like I forgot. Oh my gosh. All right. This is gonna be an awesome episode, folks. So we're all here. All right, Mike, let's start over. Go ahead.
No, I'm not doing it again. No.
Not doing
You're
it
all
again?
here. You know what we do here.
Yeah. Jack's calling for us both to be fired in the chat.
We should be.
Professionals are back in live. There we go. Yes. You would think that I'd have it figured out by now. Anyways, Chrissy, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Mike, how are you?
Now that I can speak, yeah. I had a tooth pulled today.
Yikes.
Oh. Yeah.
Look at you. You're a warrior.
Uh-huh. You know, if Jack Hughes can score the game-winning goal for the Americans after getting his tooth knocked out, I can certainly talk some Star Wars after having a tooth removed.
He's a tough hockey player.
Yeah, well, I'm a tough whatever it is I do.
Mailman.
Tough mailman.
There you go. All right, Chrissy, how are things? How are you enjoying your Star Wars these days?
It's good. I feel like we have like a little bit of a resurgence going on, so it's just a lot of exciting things coming up. Like all the projects that I'm thinking about for like the rest of 2026 going into 2027. I'm so excited for everything that's coming.
Very cool. Very cool. So real quick, why don't you take a minute, refresh everybody's brains on who you are, what you do, and then we'll dive into some Star Wars stuff.
Okay. My name is Chrissy. I go by Kyber Chrissy on my social medias. I talk and kind of react to everything kind of Star Wars related. I'll have some reviews or thoughts from, upcoming shows. Maul is one of them currently that I'm doing, and I'll kind of react to any other trailers like The Mandalorian that's coming out. But the one thing that I really enjoy doing is talking about like the tiny, minute details and lore within Star Wars. So like Boba Fett's first appearance, or like how do tracking fobs work, and kind of like what's a parsec? Like what is that within the Star Wars realm? So that's the kind of things that I really enjoy talking about currently, and throughout my kind of whole social media stuff. But that's my main real focus.
What is a parsec, Chrissy?
Oh gosh. Yeah. It's like a really long measurement of light. I made that video so long ago because I was talking about Han Solo's like run and how it's actually not a measurement of time, it's a measurement of distance. So
nice.
That one got tossed out.
There's too much, right?
You cleaned it all up in Solo, Jimmy, your favorite movie.
Oh yeah, Solo
is crystal clear after watching Solo.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So Chrissy, how about you give us a rundown of how you felt about chapters 1 and 2 of Maul?
Okay, yeah. Chapters 1 and 2, I think they took my breath away. Honestly, I'm gonna try, because I don't want to bore you guys, not to gush about the animation in this, because that's something
gush away.
I love animation, and I'm like a really firm believer that Star Wars needs to put more into their animated projects and kind of do a lot more storytelling through them, because this might be a hot take, but I think some of their best stories they've told is through the animation avenue. Like Rebels on its own, whether or not you like how it looks, I do not care. That is some of the best storytelling they have within Star Wars. But back to Maul. I love how we set him up immediately to just like where he is, how he's feeling, like that heist that he does with like Rook Cast. It's not just Maul, like sorry, it shows like how intelligent of a leader he is and how he can like dictate other people and kind of go through these heists and these plans and everything. So you immediately know who you're dealing with, like 5 minutes into this show. So, and I'm super interested in how Devon's going to develop because we see her originally, like when she steals the fruit, she's so at odds with her Jedi Master. So you think, oh, okay, maybe it will be like this easy transition for her to kind of follow Maul and like not to jump ahead into the current episodes, but turns out that's not really kind of the path we're going down. I think that we're going to continue to explore that, but I'm super interested with all these characters and how they're writing them. Brander Lawson on his own, it was really, really strong within the first couple episodes, and I did a video about them as well. But the droids in this stole my heart immediately as well. Usually it takes me a little bit to kind of warm up to them, but like Spybot, that little weirdo, and then Two Boots, I really, really enjoyed. So I think those were such solid starts to a series, and going into 3 and 4, I definitely think they're carrying that momentum throughout. So
awesome, yeah. I can't disagree.
Yeah. I do want to talk about Two Boots for a second.
There we go. He's gonna get me all fired up.
I really have a bone to pick with Jimmy because Jimmy has seen all 8 episodes, and last week he brought up the fact that he was not a fan of Two Boots.
I am not.
And I'm sitting here stewing like, Jimmy, wow, like you like the droids. You always like the droids.
I love the droids.
It got my brain after the conversation. My brain's thinking, there's some reason why Jimmy doesn't like this droid. So instantly, I knew that droid is going to contact the Empire. He's going to turn. He's going to be a traitor, and that's why Jimmy doesn't like him. So you kind of, as much as you're trying, Jimmy, to not spoil anything.
No.
You spoiled that one for me.
No way, dude. That is your own assumptions. That is not why I dislike, because what he does in episode or chapter 4 is not the reason I don't like him. I've said that I don't think, Chrissy, you can chime in here whenever after I say this. It doesn't make sense to me. One, his voice is so different because all the other ones have this big like, I am a robot, I am blah blah blah, right? And that's fine. Like I don't want to hear that over and over. I do think using his voice in Mandalorian and in this was a little bit too much. There's a lot of great voice actors out there who can do good voices. Go get Mark Thompson to do a voice. Like bring him into live action or bring him in animation or something. But this droid wants protocol. I'm a protocol driver, blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. But then the damn thing is wearing 2 boots. That's not protocol. And so that's like, that's the only thing. Like, I just feel like they're this is really nitpicky, and I hope I never wanted to be this person, but I just feel like they're using him because he is funny. Like I really like what he does in, I think was it episode 4 or 3 when he goes in there and he's doing things on his own, trying to help out. I like that, but like I just feel like they, protocol here for the Empire, but I'm not going to wear boots, or I'm not going to wear, I'm going to wear boots that aren't protocol. So it's just like I just don't feel like a droid can be, like L337 is going to be like, F you on all accounts. You know what I mean? Like she's consistently badass or whatever. But Two Boots is like all over the map with just in these 4 episodes. That's all I'm saying. Just in these 4 episodes.
I'm just saying your attitude, your comments and attitude totally blew it for me. Like I knew in these episodes he was going to turn.
I feel like you didn't have to, like, it wasn't like a great big leap to know he was going to do something, right?
After episode 1 and 2, I didn't think he would.
Oh man,
I thought he was
I will try harder. Christy, what do you think? Because you said coming into this, you like Two Boots, and I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from liking any droid. I just feel like, it's not consistent for me.
Okay, I'll give you the boot thing. That is a little interesting to point
weird.
out. We'll give you a point there.
All right. Now she's gonna trash me. Here we go.
But I chalk the boots up as like just kind of like an Easter egg, like just like a because the individual who plays Brander Lawson does the wolf in The Last Wish and puts in boots. So I think they're just being a little like cheeky there. I think it's just like a little haha, he's got boots on. It's like Puss in Boots is like kind of what we're connecting it with. Um, sure, would I love Star Wars to maybe like have it make a little bit more sense, but I think it's just kind of like a joke they're doing. But I will give you the point that it is a little odd that he is wearing actual boots
That's my
when like
only
no
issue.
one else is.
My only issue is just that little bit of change where I just feel like it's not consistent, but because they're usually so spot on with things.
Yeah, that is the like, which is why like if it is like a Puss in Boots reference, it does feel slightly odd to me
Yeah, because I
to
don't
keep
know.
it going.
Yeah, I don't know that reference, I guess. And I've watched most of those movies, I think. I didn't know
Mhm.
Wagner Moura and Antonio Banderas were in those movies together. That's a lot of
Yeah.
great voice acting, man. That's some
Let's
powerful stuff.
I'll get back to Two Boots in a second, but this show is so distracting because you have, sorry, Uncle Docky is, I don't
Oh,
remember his name, but he's the voice of
Dennis Hausberg,
the
yeah.
the State Farm commercials or
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
And then you have Wagner Moura as Brander Lawson, and then Sam Witwer as Maul, and you have them all talking to each other, and it's like, I know there's stuff going on, but like it's so beautiful to listen to you guys just talk in a room. It's like the first time in Star Wars where I'm like, please keep monologuing.
Yeah, more
It's
monologue.
fantastic.
That's what my wife Molly was watching tonight because we've watched these early, and then I try to watch them again today to come down here so they're fresh in my mind. And she's like, God, there's so many great voices. And she's like, that's the insurance guy. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I recognize this other voice. And I was like, oh, that's the guy from, because she didn't, I don't think she really paid attention to the first two because she had school stuff going on. And so, but anyways, yeah, so she's the same thing. She's just like, this is really good. And I was like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. But so the thing that I do have an opinion about Two Boots. Sorry to bring it back.
It's Two Boots talk tonight.
Two Boots.
We're talking about him. That's it. Not the character you thought we would be talking about, but
Oh, good.
I find it so interesting because him and Lawson are almost coming at it, and stick with me, at the same angle where they're trying to do the best for Janix, what they think is right.
Yeah.
So like Lawson has personal experience with the Empire. His spoilers, his ex-wife is part of the Empire and is actively working with them. So he knows as soon as they touch down planet side, the way Janix like fundamentally functions is gone. Like their whole planet is gonna shift. And whereas Two Boots just thinks, well, they're the current authority, they're gonna help us. And he even references like the Jedi and how he's still equating it to the Republic. And I think that's where his mind or his processors are still at. And it's such an interesting dynamic to have them because like I think they're trying to do the best for this planet. And Two Boots is right, like Lawson is woefully unprepared to handle Maul. He has no idea who this guy is and what he's up against. And like so it's so interesting, and I'm curious to see how much that's going to progress, and especially with like the ending of episode 4, not to jump around, where he's like, "Well, I hope you can forgive me eventually," and it's like, I don't think he's going to do that, Two Boots, because you just let the fox into the henhouse, basically. So it's very interesting because I feel like he's coming at it from a good place, and like he says, he's like, "You're not prepared for this. People are going to get hurt," and that's what happened. Like a whole crew of people gets taken out. A whole squad is taken out, and then you have Lawson emerging, licking his wounds, and Tubu being absolutely correct. But we as the viewers and Lawson kind of share the same viewpoint because like we know what happens when you let these people in to like your planet, and we see what happens when the Empire is done with certain planets. Like so, as soon as they're done with Janix, are we getting another? Gamor or no, that's not correct. From
Gorman.
Andor.
Gorman.
Thank you. Are we getting another Gorman? Are we getting another Alderaan? Like, we know what happens, which is, I think, kind of refreshing as a viewer, because, like, there's one character that actually knows, like, what this impact is going to be. So that's my whole thing on Two Boots. It's a very interesting dynamic between the two of them. I think that's going to be going forward.
I will give him that. You know, he's not doing it out of malice. He's doing it because he thinks it's the right thing. And then he's concerned at the end of the beginning, or in the middle there of episode 4, chapter 4, because he doesn't want those guys to get hurt. Real quick, what's up, the Mandarian? First time on here. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. So, yeah, pleasure having you here. So, yeah, let's dive into Chapter 3, Whispers in the Unknown, written by Julia Cooperman. Yeah, it's good. They're all pretty awesome. Written by Julia Cooperman. We get another cityscape, and then we kind of get into it. What stood out to you guys in this episode? What's your biggest takeaway, I guess, and then we can start kind of going through it in order or whatever. But what stood out to y'all? Like the biggest thing from this, I guess, like the first thing you think about.
It's a deep question, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. I guess Maul's approach, you know what I mean? Like his approach to the seduction, if you want to call it that, of
I would.
Of why is her name slipping?
Devin.
Like,
probably you just learned it.
Probably.
I mean, technically, the first time they say it is the end of this episode.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he is so in control. He takes such a calm approach to it. Lets her come to him, like he's trying to be not the evil demon in the corner. You know what I mean? He's trying to be something different. Just his whole approach and just the way that the whole episode went. I mean, and Devin's approach to it too. Like, I guess I'll talk about that more probably in the next when we talk about the next chapter. But just the way that Devin's approaching him, like very cautious, and you kind of think like, is she going to crack? Because like Chrissy said earlier, how we perceived her in the first chapter with her stealing, she seemed to be at odds with her master and everything. And the way that Maul is coming about this and talking so seductively and calm and even handed, like you think that there's a good chance that he's going to bring her around. Just that whole dynamic. I mean, that's what the whole chapter was just that dynamic. Him, just phenomenal. And the monologuing, Maul's monologuing, just, oh my God.
It's really good. How about for you, Chrissy?
No, I completely agree. I think Maul's at such an interesting spot right now because he's like lost everything, and he's on this path for like revenge, but he's not as angry as I think you would expect him to be. He's being very calculated about everything. And especially when it comes to Devin, because like I think that's the other thing that he also really wants is someone. I think he really just wants an apprentice, someone to rise up as well, because clearly that didn't go well for him personally. Which I find just really fascinating about his character, because like when you look at him and you see what happened to him, it's not like the first thing that would jump out at you to be like, that's what he really wants. Like someone to guide sort of in his own, malicious ways. But yeah, he's so, like you say, he's just so calm and calculated about everything, where I think like we usually see him and he's like, he's either, spider legs and he's out there and he's a little cracked, or he's just mad and angry. And I think the only time we've ever seen him really calm is at like his end in Rebels, where he's just kind of, I think, finally at peace. But I'm really liking this approach because I was expecting, just like he's gonna go out and he's just gonna terrorize everybody. But now it's a great approach. I really like it. I think the storytelling for it is fantastic. So I completely agree with everything you said. And the other thing that really stood out to me, I don't know if you watch it with captions on.
Oh yeah.
But I do. And it's just kind of like a mystery to me that I'm curious if we're gonna expand on later. It's right before Devin leaves, after their like first initial fight. And it says it's like Maul's saber is like speaking or something. And I was like, okay. And I know that's not really like integral to like their relationship and dynamic. But like that little speck of mystery, I'm like, is that his
Mhm.
crystal talking? Like, is that what is that? Or is that like Gothamir magic that's like still within him, or like something from Mother Talzin? Like, what is going on with that? That's
Yeah.
something really fascinating, and I hope we get to expand a little bit more on like the Sith lore in their mythos. Because
Mhm.
like that's something that I don't think we've super heavily touched on. Like we know like we got the Jedi, we know what they're about, and we know like the Sith are like completely opposite. But like this is where I come in with my videos. It's like what are those little tiny minute details? Like
Mhm.
what are we really
Yeah.
talking about here? And like that's how I think he learns her name is like her somehow touching it and the crystal interacting with her. Because as soon as it comes back to his hand, he says it, and it's
Mhm.
like, what's that all about? So,
Yeah, yeah.
It does that. It says it in this captions. It could sit there and get somewhere else. It talks
yeah.
about it. I think it's interesting. Kind of reminds me of like the Momin helmet from the Vader comic when he's with Vader and Ochi going after the helmet, going after Darth Momin's helmet, and it's like possessed, but it can speak, and then kind of just how they kind of so is it like some former Sith Lord's like kyber crystal and has a mind of its own or something, which would be interesting because that's not the same saber he's going to have in Solo. Like he's going to have that
Yeah.
different, like that kind of little hook thing on the end of it that he shows. So yeah, I think that's pretty interesting as well. um I like I like how they're bringing like man, they're making us guess. We all have that theory that Devon's going to become Darth Talon or whatever.
Mhm.
And then she's like fighting him and not fighting him, and just she has got this bad attitude. Like she's pretty like like she's not very Jedi like in the fact that we talked about how some of the things she did in the first episodes and her attitude, and then she never tries to like calm herself. Really, it doesn't seem like to me. She's just kind of reacting and not really. So I feel like she's kind of ripe for it, but then she goes back to Docky and everything's like, oh, okay. But then you
Yeah.
see some looks on her face in episode 4, and you're like, I mean, she's listening to what he's saying, and she's kind of
Mhm.
had it. So I'm interested to see how that plays out over the next few episodes. The Mandalorian says, I love the theatrics of Maul using formal manners. Now he's asked for her name and revealed it later. Yeah, that's awesome for
He's there
sure.
serving tea. You know what I mean? Like,
And
Yeah.
welcome
So,
isn't
in.
that and that's like something the fans have picked on. Like every time he like talks to like a man or like is fighting a man, he's like very like Kenobi is like the best example for it. But like it's Lady Kryze, it's Lady Tano, it's like all
Mhm.
of these like he's very he's got
Formal.
great manners. I'll give him that. Like it's
Mhm.
very interesting.
I
Like
was
and
I was
oh, go
thinking
ahead.
about, again, it's hard to not talk about these and jumping in between 3 and 4, but the way he
Mhm.
gives Brander that option at the end, I believe him. Like he won't do anything to the city.
Yeah.
Like he'll protect that city if they just let him be. He won't do, what I mean? I'm like, just I don't know, let him. Like that way, I was just kind of like
What's yeah,
he's gonna
Maul,
do it.
the Empire.
Yeah, he's gonna do it anyway. So just let him, and he'll
Mhm.
protect you. And I feel like he's kind of like he's a Zabrak of his word. If
Yeah.
he tells you he's gonna do something and you're loyal to him, I feel like that's all you would have to do.
There's
Yeah.
definitely a certain honor to him for sure.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
I feel too like I think Chrissy was talking about how he wants an apprentice. I think the fact that he wants an apprentice, I think it's more of like kind of how parents typically are with their children. Like if you had a bad upbringing, which Maul obviously did, you want to
Mhm.
do things differently. Like I think if he got an apprentice, he's not going to use him like Sidious did with him. You know what I mean? I think
Mm.
he kind of
Yeah.
wants a companion, a friend.
Kind of like
You know what I
Chimere.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we didn't get to
Yeah.
see that out fully, but yeah, you got that feeling that they want someone,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think so. I think that's human nature. I mean, I know we're talking about aliens, but human nature, I mean, it's not to want to be alone.
Mhm.
Mandarian says this, it's a black market saber Ventress bought, then Maul stole.
Interesting.
Man, where can you explain? Like, can you tell us where you found that or where we can find that? Like, is that in the Sons of Dathomir or whatever comic? Because I have that sitting on my desk. It's on the to read pile gets higher and higher every week. So I'd be curious as to where that information comes from. That's pretty cool though. Yeah, so let's kind of like for this episode, if you guys don't mind, let's talk about Devin and Maul first.
Okay.
Yeah, they jump around a lot. I feel like, and it's kind of confusing, but if we can just talk about Devin and Maul stuff, and then we can talk about the little bit of stuff that happens on the outside of it, I think it might be, we can probably get through it a little bit because, chapter 4 has got a ton of things that happen. So how do we feel? I mean, Maul says some crazy stuff. I've got some of it written down here. Are you guys loving the horror aspect of this? Like we got that one trailer. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I like that it's not a horror show, but it has those elements. You know what I mean? It definitely pulls from the interesting elements of horror. I'm digging that.
Sorry, I don't know what episode
Go ahead.
it is, but you made me think of something randomly. This is like, sorry, I'm gonna get back on my soapbox of animation.
That's all right.
But I can't remember what episode it is. It's probably 4 when he's with the Pikes. Not to jump around, but
yeah, it's 4.
Yeah, the animation, I think, no offense to any of the movies or any of the live action, they're great. I love them. But with this show, like you guys are talking about, like you can just take it one step darker. You can take it one more level because it is animated and you have like that natural barrier of like, it's pretend. Like it all is pretend, but like when it's the saber mark on the Pikes when that happens, like that's like an up close and personal like saber wound that we see. I think for outside of the comics, I think is like one of the first times we've seen that, and it's like, oh, okay, hang on a minute. So sorry, but yeah, I'm loving this whole like darker kind of not horror like you said. It's like a crime noir, I guess, is what they're really marketing
for
it as.
sure.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
But,
that a little bit. Yeah.
It's just, oh, it's so good. It's like it's what I've always wanted.
Yeah. One point he says, you crave that unfulfilled destiny. He brings up, are you ready to fight the Jedi hunters? And then he has a bunch of lines where he's like, refusing your call to fight. You squander your gifts. No purpose, no hope. Your life is in ruin. I mean, he just is like beating her down and just kind of, and it's a weird thing though, because he's trying to be all, like we said, proper and nice, but then he's saying some pretty awful things, like, and he's kind of tempting her a little bit. And if you think about the very beginning of that episode, that scene, he is basically doing what Palpatine will do to Luke Skywalker eventually with that lightsaber just sitting there. And he's like, it's calling to you. I mean, it's what he set her up, just like Palpatine sets up Luke on the Death Star. So I like that synergy, what do they always say? It rhymes or whatever. So Jack says, no way. Maul is a Sith and he wants an apprentice to use as a tool. Jack's a Sith. So Ventress had the saber in the late seasons of Clone Wars. It was yellow at the time. Originally, when Ventress dies, she's late on the rest Dathomir. But we went Quinlan, Boss. Oh, so he goes and gets it then? All right.
Oh.
Exactly how the Army train you. Remember you? Yeah, we did talk about that. So, hello there. What I love most about Maul is it's 8 a.m. drop time in Scotland here. Exchange from a 2 a.m. Yeah, I bet
that's very reasonable.
That's very reasonable. Yeah, people are doing like the 2:45 on the West Coast or whatever, or on the East Coast watching it. So, but yeah, how do you guys? What are your guys' thoughts on that whole thing? It seems to me it's weird. Maul's weird. Just with like he's so calm and he's using he's being proper, but then he's saying some really awful things and trying to crack her like an egg. And I'm just like, man, you're an enigma wrapped in a, so how are we feeling about that whole situation? Then we can dive into some of the other stuff.
It's interesting to consider those things that you mentioned he's putting out there. Like, you're a Jedi, you have this training, you have this responsibility to use your tools and use your training. When she goes back to Master Daki, had he not had he stuck to his guns and not wanted to go after Maul, and we just need to get off the planet and go. I think maybe Maul cracked her. You know what I mean? Like she's the seeds that he planted are sprouting
pretty quickly.
And had Daki not nurtured those seeds, she would have needed to go back to Maul for that nurturing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think it's just a manipulation tactic. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we're the same, but like I'm also better than you, and you kind of like have a rough life, but I had a rough life, and look at me, like I'm doing it, but you're awful at whatever you're doing right now. So I think it's like just kind of those like backhanded compliments, and I think within the Sith, that's probably also all he knows. So like he's attacking the Jedi mindsets and their tenets, and then being like, I could fix it, right? With like my way of doing things. So like you're supposed to be a protector, but you're not doing it. I can make you stronger so you can do that. It's almost like I feel like it's almost like he's kind of like weaving her to be like, well, maybe like because I'm a Jedi, I should be better. Because there is like a scene where they're talking about I think that's episode 4. Sorry, but they're like talking about something like that, and being like you are a protector, and oh, it went away, squirrel brain. But yeah, like gosh, but you know what? Yeah, sorry, but I think he's trying to take her Jedi beliefs and manipulate them and make her doubt those, but be like, hey, you still have a strong sense of justice. And we can still do this together because I can give you the mindset and the tools to do it. I think that's basically where I was trying to get at with like why he is saying these awful things to her, like with like specifically attacking her like way as a Jedi. So it's
I think he said it.
Interesting.
I think he said like you have no purpose right now. I can give you purpose, maybe not in those exact words, but
no purpose, no hope.
Yeah. So
I mean, I think it's awesome. I love it. I mean, I'm here for. I want more of that. I don't know, sitting in these episodes, and I got to be careful with what I say, but I think more of that will be really cool. I think that I just think there's a long way to go with her though. I can kind of see like I'm surprised they announced season 2 already, but I don't think they're going to do this quickly with her. Do you know what I mean? I think it's going to be earned, which I love that because one of the biggest things people complain about with Rey and some people with Luke Skywalker, they didn't really earn things, right? And so like Maul's going to earn this Padawan or apprentice, or she's going to earn becoming Darth Talon if that is her fate. I think it's a little weird. I don't know. I still have my doubts for some reason that that's where she's headed, but I don't know why. I feel like they're going to throw a curveball in there somewhere, as they do sometimes. But anyways, the Mandalorian says he uses the same taxes with Ezra. Yeah, it's kind of weird. You see these things. So maybe it does work, and he's just trying to repeat, wash, rinse, and repeat with Ezra. But was Devin? He says Devin is lost, and Maul is thriving in her despair and lost confidence. His style and strategies are sublime. Yeah, he's a predator, man. He's everything that He's I mean, I hate to use this word, but he's like grooming her kind of to the dark side, and I hate to say that because it's icky, but I don't know how else you put it without kind of just saying it, coming right out and saying it. So don't mistake my kindness for weakness. Oh, he's like a drill sergeant. Don't take my acts of kindness as a weakness. I get it. So Jack's so we have all that happens, and then he just lets her go, and he has that smile on his face. It's like he knows something. I don't know what he knows. Like I wish they'd show us his visions or something, or we get some voices or something would happen so we know what he knows. Because to me, it just feels like he's kind of flying by the seat of his pants sometimes. Like he just reacts, but I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like he planted the seeds, and he
got to let him go. And
he's taking the long view of this.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Lawson. He's a bad dad. He's and I love, and I know I've watched a couple people. One of the YouTubers, he's never happy about anything, but I was like, I haven't listened to this person in a long time to see what they have to say. He's gonna love this show, and just complaining about, well, this is just like every cop show, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. Like, it's consistent with cops and how they work, and it wouldn't be different, like, I just I love this aspect of this show. First off, I love Wagner Moore's voice. It's dreamy. And then, obviously he's a great actor, but I love the bad dad gig. Like, it makes it feel like we don't really, I mean, we've seen this. I mean, Vader is the ultimate bad dad, but I just feel like it makes it seem like other shows that we watch, but not in a bad way. I watch a lot of cop shows. And I love, well, it's an active investigation. I can't tell you that. I'm like, oh my God, I've heard people say that in real life cop shows, like, it's so stupid, but like, it works for me. So how does Brander and then Riley's, relationship and his job, like, how do you guys feel about that? I don't have kids. You guys, I think, so you guys can speak to it a little bit differently than I can. But I love it as far as the cop noir stuff kind of goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why the police procedurals are so popular and have, stood the test of time. There's so many of them out there. We crave that. And we do in Star Wars too. You crave some of that familiarity, some of the Star Wars that gets panned the most is the stuff that's gone. There is no familiarity to it. You know what I mean? It's not a retelling of the story. Like, you want new, but you want some familiarity there. And this, definitely has it in a different way for Star Wars. You know what I mean? So I can't criticize the police procedural aspect of it at all. But I was looking forward to getting to see Space Lacrosse, but we didn't get to see any of it. Like, Brander's just back there, supporting his son in the shadows, but we don't get to see his son play. Obviously, apparently his son's really good. He's a leading scorer and whatnot, but we don't get to see what the game's like at all. I was a little disappointed by that.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what the game was.
Yeah. I thought, same. I'm like, give it to me, let me see. But I guess it kind of reflects where Lawson's at. Like, he's not really paying attention to Riley. So, like, we're not going to see that either, which is important. But it kind of, I think, is showing his relationship with his son. Like, he's there, but he's not present. He's not really taking in what's going on around him. And someone put this really well in a video earlier today. I think it's Dyad in the Force. They do a lot of good stuff. He was like, people are like complaining that it's like a tropey cop show. Well, tropes are gonna trope, but what makes like those tropes better or like worth your while is the interpersonal relationships that the characters are going through. And I think that's what we're gonna get with Maul. I mean, we're already seeing it. We're 4 episodes in and we're already seeing these dynamics. Like, yes, it's a cop crime show, but he's, his wife is ex-Empire. He's not really paying attention to his son. His partner is not listening to him, and so I think it's kind of that aspect where it's like, I don't really care if it's the 10 millionth cop show that we're getting.
Yeah.
But as long as these characters are interesting and are telling their own stories through their lives, I'm there. I'm set. And I think that's also why they're so successful too. Like you were saying, there's a million of them. But each one you're following different people and their different lives and stuff like that. So, but yeah, like everything in the show, I'm really excited to see how we're going to progress with Riley and Lawson. Like, Riley's already expressed like he wants to leave. Like, his dad's not here. He kind of feels stuck on this planet. He wants to go with his mom. Like, is that going to happen eventually? So, like, and then is Lawson just going to be like, I have nothing here now to protect? Because I think that's also why he's so committed to his job, is like, I have to make sure that this place is okay for my son. And like, as a parent, I can completely relate to that. You want the best for them, but you're also forgetting that they want you there in that moment with them. So I think it's great how they're handling their relationship so far.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And to this point, we don't see Lawson being successful at anything really. You know what I mean? Like, the investigation has been a complete failure. Like, he takes a whole squad in and they get annihilated. He's a failure with his son. He's a failure in his marriage. He's been a failure at everything. Like, it's amazing. He's, as upbeat and, committed as he is, considering everything around him is falling apart.
Yeah.
That's pretty valid, yeah. But he has that sexy voice.
He
So,
does.
and the
Everyone
Mandalorian,
sounds great in the show.
yeah, yeah. I love Two Boots is helping Lawson with his emotional needs, like the coffee, companionship, writing about his son's game, every ritual Lawson needs. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like that as well. Even if and a workaholic parent and skeleton crew as well. A Blade Runner vibes of Jannix are so refreshing. Cop noir with Two Boots to boot. I like that. So yeah, there is a lot of good stuff in this episode, and I like you said, Chrissy, they really are doing well with building the characters, and and it's like we get a little bit of time with Docky and with Lawson, and I don't think that's a huge scene, but it's like it sets up the the ending of this when he's like, oh yeah, Uncle Docky sent you this. I think they did a pretty good job there because that makes sense. And just seeing different characters with different different matchups, and they're all kind of working together and getting to know each other. I really do appreciate that. And it's kind of funny too, because you just think like it's got to be hard with animation. I guess maybe it's just like writing a story though, and you just kind of write it out and you work with it. But yeah, anything else from chapter 3 that you guys really want to talk about? Because I mean, that's mostly it. Vario communicates with Marg Krim. Are there any good pikes in the universe? Are they all drug running POSs? Because like I want to see like in Zero Company when we get that game, I want to make a good pike.
Yeah. That's an unexplored avenue for sure.
Like, none of them are ever good.
No.
There's not. I've never seen a single good. Like, there's not one do-gooder. There's not a black sheep in some family that's out there doing like, I'm gonna do good. You guys can go to heck. Blah, like I don't want to run
freeing slaves and freeing slaves and busting drug dealers and
so
that'd be something.
Like that one Hut from the High Republic, right? Like the trade novels.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna help my friends.
That's a good shout. Yeah, that's the one good Hut. So that's awesome. So all right. Anything else from this? We need to hop on to the next one because.
Yeah, the only thing I can say is, like, I texted you after we watched these two, and it's the same with 3. It's the same with 4. Once I finished watching these 2 episodes, I just wanted more. Like, we are really starting to get into it now. Like, the first 2 episodes were great, but man, I just like after 1 and 2, I was content. After 3 and 4, I'm like, I need to see 4 and 5. You know what I mean? I need it now. But,
patience, Padawan.
I know.
But think about this. Think about, we were talking about this, and I'm not complaining, but like, I know how we get to episode 8, and I'm going to wait like all this. Like, I cannot wait for May the 3rd, like, or whatever, the 4th. I'm like, I need it. So I get it. Trying to know what's happening. Real quick here. I was taken out of the story for a half moment when fake Maul appears. My immediate thought was, why would he enter the ship and attack the guys? Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a minute, and if that tricked anybody else. But Chris, anything else from episode or chapter 3?
No, I think
all
those
right.
are my thoughts on it. I keep blending episode 4, so
yeah, it's hard to do that because I don't think these are like separate independent episodes. It's like it could be one big movie.
Yeah,
honestly, like it's just like a big super cut of all this would be pretty sweet. Moving on to chapter 4, Pride and Vengeance. I know the vengeance part because Docky tells Devin later, don't let I have it written down. Do not let your judgment be clouded by your need for vengeance. So I know the vengeance. The pride part, is that Lawson because he won't back down? He's too prideful to like give in.
I would say, he leads a whole squad of cops to get annihilated because of his pride. Yeah.
That weird droid Two Boots tells him, hey, you're not prepared for this. But yeah, so this episode starts out, they end up on, was it Obadiah, I believe, the homeland of all the drug running pikes. Must be something in that water, man, to make all these pikes bad guys. But were you guys fooled at all, like at first, like, and then I was kind of fooled twice. I was like, oh, is that really Maul? Like, is he really going to do that? And then when he shoots him, I was also fooled because I thought, well, maybe Vario is trying to trick them. Like, this is part of the thing. And then when they realize that it's not Maul and Maul shows up, you see if you always watch these episodes, Vario like sneaks away every time something's about to go down. You just see him like slither away. Like he's a survivor. He knows when to bounce. So how do you guys feel about that opening scene on Obadiah? Did it work on you? Did it not work on you? Did you like it? I liked how he made the Marg kill himself. That was pretty slick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I
Chrissy. I feel like I've been jumping in on most of these.
You're good. I feel that. Unfortunately, I was not fooled. Because I'm just such an attention to detail person. I was like, that's not his arm. It's wrong. And my husband was like, how could you possibly know that? And I was like, look, you look at these characters enough, you remember their tattoos. But I did get a little nervous because I was like, did he just like sacrifice one of his like Zabrak companions? Like that's
Yeah.
kind of hardcore right off the bat. Like I didn't think that's the direction he was going to go in. So like that's where my mind went. I was like, oh my gosh, we're about to like lose one of these characters immediately. And if you've been watching like the Star Wars like clips of like their little behind the scenes, like they're they've alluded to that the Zabreks are there as kind of like they remind Maul of a certain someone, aka his brother. So I was like, that's kind of brutal to like sacrifice him immediately. But no, I thought it was a very interesting opening for it. Again, it's just the tension and the buildup that they do with these is fantastic. With the Pikes, and like you said, Vario's just like he's kind of like that annoying character where you're like, gosh, I just want you to get your comeuppance because like you're awful, but you're such a coward. But I guess like a survivor is a better way to put it. So
Well, coward, survivor. I want to
Coward.
the same thing. Yeah.
yeah,
So.
if you want to be nice. But and then I mean, and how he takes out the Pikes, like I kind of alluded to earlier, is just the brutality that we're getting with this is so interesting. It's very Maul, and I'm excited for it, not just because like it's brutal, but it's like something that we just haven't seen within Star Wars because like you can only push the boundaries so much in live action with like a kid franchise, which is like what I was saying earlier, like the barrier of animation kind of makes it unfortunately a bit more digestible. You're not really like, and then he got cut by a lightsaber. Look at that. It's not like, oh, that's like an actual person laying down being cut by a lightsaber. If you were to say to do that in like, one of Ray's movies or something, it's like, oh, okay, can't take my kid to see that. But like,
No.
yeah,
that
I
makes
mean, think of all the animated movies we watched growing up, like how actually awful and brutal those were. You're like, oh, wait a second, as an adult, you're like, yeah, maybe my kid shouldn't watch this right now. So, but fantastic opening scene. Sorry.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't fooled. They did a good enough job though selling it that it seemed like it could, you know what I mean? I was pretty sure it was the plan, but they did a good enough job selling it. And our one comment up there made a good point. When I didn't think of it at the time, but the fact that he was dealing with one saber, all through this series so far, the only time Maul has only used one saber is when he was dealing with Devin. Otherwise, every time he's gone into a hallway to murder fools, he's got both. He stands up there, clicks them together, and just takes them out. So, but yeah, it was a good. I don't know. They sold it well. It was a good scene.
I did have one issue, and tell me what you guys think. So, fast forwarding to Solo Star Wars story. Dryden Voss says, we have a fragile alliance with the Pikes, right? And so he can't upset that. But wouldn't from what I see now and anything that I know, I mean, I don't know anything other than what you guys know because, what? Because is that some canon error? Because wouldn't he have control of both then? Like if Colt, the guy's name is Colt, which I think is pretty funny. Someone say bend the knee. He's like, you answer to me now. So now, I know Crimson Dawn's not in the picture yet, but it will be eventually somewhere, right? Because I mean, by the time we get to Solo, he's controlling them. So is he also controlling I just, it was a little thing. Maybe I've watched Solo too many times, but I just felt like there's a little bit of maybe some issues there with that connecting, but I don't know. It's probably not that big of a deal. So
yeah, there's so many factions. I'm sure that there's multiple factions within the Pikes, and it all makes sense to me.
All right. Back to Janix. Devin finds Docky. They got a secret little space in the sewers. And I think about that, and I think about all the stuff Maul's saying to her, right? And they're living in the sewer. You're this great, powerful force in the universe, in the galaxy, and you're living in the sewer. Doc is like, "How did you escape?" And she's like, "It wasn't easy, whatever." But and then she wants to go get Maul, right? Mike, you kind of alluded to this, like, and
Yeah.
then he's like, "We need to bounce, fool! Like, we got to get out of here. The Empire's probably coming. Like, let's go." And she's like, "No," and he kind of gives in. How are we feeling about that relationship? I also wrote down in my notes, Docky is a lot like Kenobi at the beginning of this streaming show. He's like lost and scared and kind of lost his edge a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah, I think I talked about that in last week. Just the way that creature expresses himself, Docky, like just his face. He looks so sad. But with them being in the sewers and stuff, I got a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vibe. Like he's got a bit like Splinter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and I'd have to say, with Docky having more lines in these 2 episodes, I felt like for once a voice actually took me out of it just a little bit. You know what I mean? Having that deep resonant voice, the insurance guy, it did take me out of it for a little bit. But like we talked about earlier, they are such good voice actors, and you get past it. But yeah, he does seem like a sad sack, sort of. Seems like he's kind of lost his way, and how couldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, with what's going on. But like I said earlier, the fact that I think the key was the fact that he agreed with Devin and decided, yes, we do need to go after Maul. We do need to do what we, as Jedi are put here to do. Otherwise, I think that right there, that's when you lose Devin. Devin's, is completely lost if he doesn't take those steps there.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's important. I think she's going to want. I mean, you've already seen her in the very first episode go against his best wishes when she steals the food, and she thinks she's doing it for the right reason, but she's not listening to him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, she's not. So I don't know. We'll see. Limitless Nerd says Docky is looking more and more like a Ninja Turtle every episode. And then this all came in about the same time as you were saying it, Mike. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, it's kind of got the Master Splinter kind of vibe going on too. So I like that. But where are we? So they send it. And this kind of like moves kind of quickly because this last scene in when they go to the lair, they send the information, get that whole Uncle Docky thing, and then it all kind of jumps off, right? They go to the lair, and all HE double hockey sticks breaks loose on this place. So, and like you kind of alluded to it too, where everything that Lawson does is not good. Like, it always seems to be blown up in his face. He's not prepared for this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that whole like last 10-15 minutes. Like, how are we feeling about that? One thing I want to say, and Chris, this is you were talking about the animation. The lightsaber battle between Docky, Devin, and Maul. It's not necessarily the fighting that caught my eye. I've seen these 3 times now, and something new catches the lighting on that battle. If you guys haven't noticed what I'm saying, because those two both will blow up, light up blue lightsabers, and he's got that red one. And if you watch the scenes as they're moving, and I'm like, they have so much attention to detail, and they really do. They have changed animation. Lucasfilm has changed animation because they do shoot it like a movie. Like the blue and the red fighting with each other. And then even when Lawson looks up, he sees that blue and red. And that's a little bit simpler. But if you watch that battle, like on the walls and stuff, and on the floor, that light's following and changing. It blew me away for some reason. Like, it really caught my eye this time. I thought that was pretty awesome. But Christian, what'd you think of that whole situation? You can start with like Maul kind of giving him his out, but
let me not skip to my favorite part.
Yeah.
I was actually shocked with how much I liked the scene of Maul giving, Lawson a chance of being like we kind of touched on it earlier. He's weirdly like honorable and respectable to like his opponents. And for him to be like, hey, if you just let me do my thing, your planet's gonna be cool, man. Like it's fine. And Lawson obviously is like, well, I can't do that because you're evil, which like fair enough. But like I was just very shocked with how that conversation went and how Maul handled it. Like even when he's turned down, again, he's not angry in this at all, which is what I was expecting. He's so calm about everything.
Mhm.
And like even when Lawson's like, "Hey, no, get out of here. I'm gonna arrest you. You need to turn yourself in, actually. That's my ultimatum." Maul's like, "Well, that's an honorable choice, and I respect that." I'm
Die
like, "But
well.
yeah, die well." Like, excuse me? Okay. Like that whole scene was incredible. And again, I know we keep talking about the voices, but those two voices going at it and just having that dialogue back and forth, I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening? But yeah, it was, and even the lighting and the setup on how it's structured, I don't want to say like film, but how it's animated
It
is just,
feels like it's been filmed though, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. It like it feels like there's a camera there that you're watching these two interact with each other, and like the depth of everything is just it's incredible. They're doing, and I know they wanted to do a lot with this show, and I think they're nailing the hammer
Oh
on the head
yeah.
every time. So, but yeah, I it actually I was actually I liked the I think it's one of my favorite mall scenes actually. Just like that simple like here's my plan, here's what's gonna happen, and this is the consequences if you go against me, and it's I thought it was incredible. I love that scene. But
Nice. Yeah. I every time I watch it, though, I'm like, take the deal, take the deal.
yeah,
About you,
yeah,
Mike?
Yeah.
How you feeling about
I'm
that opening?
I'm interested to see more of Lawson's backstory, to see what he knows
Mm,
about Maul. You know what I mean? Like, is obviously on Janix, there's tons of organized crime. And I mean, we see him go to contacts and whatnot,
Arena
to get
Soul.
information. Yeah, get information on organized crime. So obviously, this is a planet where the police work hand in hand with organized crime in some way. You know what I mean? You like
Well, in the
they are
comics,
trying to
they're
bust them, but
yeah.
you play that game. You know what I mean? And in this situation, I mean, Maul's crew has done some serious carnage, so maybe you can't turn your
yeah,
back on it. But is there something more? Like, does he know something more about Maul? And like, this has to be handled. I can't let this go. But so I'd be
yeah.
interested to find out more there. But just to get into the lightsaber battle, man, like you said, just so well done. And Devin, man, she can wield a saber, can she not? Like,
I was wondering what
it,
her style is. You know what I mean? Like it's really cool.
mhm,
Like if you watch her from
Yeah.
episode 3, the way she's handling it, she got kind of some Kenobi stuff in there, but then she does some like
mhm.
one-handed, like almost fencing kind of. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
was like, man, that's really unique.
Yeah, yeah. Docky, I didn't turn out to be such the great saber master, but I mean, she was holding her own with Maul. After, I mean, she undoubtedly lost to Maul in the first duel,
Yeah.
and Maul was
Mhm.
just toying with her. But in this duel, she was pressing. I mean, Docky did get the shot on Maul's knee, which ended
Yeah.
up, giving him some
Yeah.
problem there. But yeah, it was just a well executed, beautifully done, like that lightsaber battle. Like you said, the shadow and the light and everything about it, just the
Mhm.
angles, and it's just so well done.
Yeah.
Christy, what
Yeah.
were you gonna say? I saw you getting excited there.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite scene so far. I love that lightsaber battle. It's incredible, just like the detailing that goes into it. Like you touched on the lighting, but like even when he's talking to Docky and Devin before they draw their sabers,
You
and I
sur
know I
you
watch a
sur
lot of behind the scenes stuff. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, it said you survive, but you do not live. It's your
Mhm.
unwillingness to use your power that makes you weak. There were a couple more tonight. I was like, oh, I can't believe I didn't write those down. But it was taking me like an hour to get through each episode because I was writing down so many notes.
Yeah. That's awesome. But his if you look at his face when he's talking, and I know they've talked about it in the behind the scenes they're releasing, where like Sam Witwer drew his markings on his face because these artists are looking at his screen recordings and how he's moving and how he's talking. And you can
Mhm.
really see that in that scene, like right before they draw it, because like it's like his cheek movements. Like it's so
Yeah.
clean. It's just it adds so much to it. I just can't get over it. And then they have artists and riggers on there because they're not mocapping this, I learned, which I thought was
Yeah.
fascinating.
Mhm.
Because that's usually the way that people go is just to mocap it. But they're not doing that. Apparently, they've hired artists that are also martial artists, so they're drawing from like their own experiences on how to
Dang.
draw these figures,
Interesting.
which is super cool. Like the people behind this and the knowledge they have that they're putting into it is it's incredible. But I gotta talk about I gotta talk about the lightsaber screaming. It's so cool when he does that jump with the two blade and he comes down and he's yelling the saber yells.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a cool sound effect. And I just like, there's a video I posted earlier today, and I just want to know if that's drawing from the Kuiper screaming, because like when Jedi interact with Sith crystals, that's how they describe it, because they've been just forced upon all these negative emotions. I wonder if that's how they're again. Are we going to get some more Sith lore? Is this what we're incorporating into this series? Like, are we going to get these little tidbits? And I just think it's a fascinating detail to add because like you only hear it really when he's fighting the two Jedi. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't think we hear the screaming anywhere in the hallway scene from the first couple episodes. It's only when he's fighting the Jedi that you hear the yelling, which I think is
That's
a
interesting.
fascinating detail to add there.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I love that scene so much. It's so
No,
good.
I think I mean, as far as animated lightsaber battles go, it's up there. And they're always seem to involve Maul somehow, right? Like he's
Yeah.
always in the middle of all of it. What does he say? Palpatine does this in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. When he's like that weird scream he does, the
Yeah.
Sith scream or
Oh,
whatever. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think we're all in accordance. So we love that scene, we love the action.
Mhm.
But then something big happens, and this is kind of why I step out of this conversation, and I'm going to let you two chat for a few minutes. All right, so that's all clears up. Eventually Lawson gets up there, and he gives him back he's like, "Why didn't you tell me you were Jedi?" He's like, "I would think it's obvious why I wouldn't tell you." And he's like, "Get out of here," because Lawson's a good dude, not following protocol. And Dockie's seriously hurt, though. I am concerned for him. But it kind of flash forwards and you see Spybot and he's like, "Uh-oh, what's that
Mhm.
noise?" And all of a sudden you hear the Imperial probe droid and then the Kiner family. As they do, they get this music. It doesn't start out super noticeable yet, but then it turns into the Imperial March and we get that
Mhm.
Imperial Star Destroyer flying over the city. So what are your guys' thoughts? What do you think's happening next week? Where are we at here with our excitement level for chapters 5 and 6?
It's gonna get exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, it already is exciting, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Maul slice up some stormtroopers.
Mhm.
Yeah, is Darth Vader going to make an appearance? What other Imperial might we see on, that maybe an Imperial we recognize on this ship? I don't know. I'm just ready for it, man.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Christian, when you saw that fly over the city, kind of reminiscent of Andor when it comes over that planet
Yeah.
that they're on. So what were you thinking?
Another beautiful shot, by the way. Just
Yes.
another great rolling thing. Is fantastic. I really hope because I was talking to my husband after it ended. I was like, "Gosh, I wonder what kind of character Tarkin we're gonna get this time for the Imperial officer." Because like we always have that one guy. But I was thinking about it more today. I really hope it's Lawson's wife. We don't know where she
Oh,
is.
that'd be
Mm,
We don't know
yeah,
where she is in the ranking of the Empire, but I really hope it's her. Like, I just think that's just going to add to this
that's
drama of
that's pretty
everything
twisted,
going on.
Christy. That's pretty twisted.
Let's just add,
it
let's
seems
just add
right.
more into this. So I'm waiting for a lady to come off and be like, off that ship and be like, "Oh my God, it's you! Of course it's you!" Um, but super excited. I'm looking forward to these. I mean, from the trailer, we know Inquisitors are coming. I'm looking forward to those fights. And how Devin and unfortunately, I don't think Dockie's going to be with us much longer. That's just a thought I have. It's how the narrative goes for these Jedi Masters. But not an incredible ending, great cliffhanger, and I just want it to be Monday already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make the week long, doesn't it? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
mean, it's only Tuesday. Like, I gotta wait a full, you know.
Yeah.
So, all right, Mike. Anything else?
No, I mean, I think we covered it. I just can't wait. Like this, there's so much anticipation with this series. It's a dang cartoon, but like it's as compelling as any drama you'll see on TV. You know,
Oh
it's
yeah,
great.
I agree with you. I think, you know, Chrissy, you talked about that at the very beginning. This the storytelling they can do in animation. They can get away with a little bit they can get away with some things that they couldn't get away with in live action. The action can be a lot more intense because it's, you know, you don't have to worry about actual physics and
Mhm.
figuring out how to
Yeah.
do something. So, but yeah, I think we're in for a wild ride. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no clue. So, I think we're in for a wild ride, folks.
And what gets me is like we know there's a season 2, so like
Mhm.
before that I was like, oh, we'll kind of maybe have some kind of conclusion. It's like, oh no, this is gonna end with a cliffhanger, and we have to wait like a year and a half for the
Yeah.
next
Yeah,
one.
I will say I'm I'm curious as to how they're going to wrap this up. Knowing what I know
Yeah.
about the first 8 episodes, I kind of see why they announced a season 2. I think it would have been better. I know they do that to build hype up, like, oh, it's so good. But they also did
Yeah.
that with The Last Jedi and like how that turned out, right? Like, oh, we've already given Ryan Johnson 3 more films, and people were like, or you know, well, half the fandom is
Yeah.
that way. I guess I can't say everybody, but I think that like I don't know. I think they probably should have waited. Like, I don't know. We'll see how it ends, and then it kind of
Yeah.
that'd have been a big. That'd have been cool. Like if it ends and you're like, what? And then of course you know Maul will
Season
return or
2
something
coming.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
season
like that.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think.
And yeah. I think Devin also has the potential to be a favorite character, depending on how her story plays out. I think she's got a great potential for being one of those characters that like goes down in like Star Wars history, like up there with like, you know, the Anakins and the Ahsokas. Like
Oh
if
dang,
they
that's
do
high
her,
praise.
if
I
they
thought that
do
about
her,
Jackie at one point too, though. So.
Poor
no, not
Jackie.
Jackie. No, but like if they do her story right in the way that I think it's gonna go, where we
Mhm.
follow her trying to be, you know, stick to these Jedi tenets, and if she does eventually fall, I think what pushes her is gonna be that really big deciding factor on like how her character, like if she's gonna be up there with the legends or if she's gonna fall off. I think that deciding factor is gonna be a very key moment.
Mhm.
But I'm really excited to see where her character goes. I don't think I've really been this excited about like a new character in a while for a while. So
Awesome.
they're
Very
setting
cool.
her up great.
Glad to hear
Yeah.
that. I love that.
And
We got
you know, I didn't think about it last week. Like we knew that there's going to be a season 2 before last week, but now knowing that there's going to be a season 2 and thinking of it more, it kind of changes your outlook on season 1. Like what are they going to accomplish in this season? Because like you said, they don't have to cram everything in. They don't have to tell the whole story. We're just this is the first part of the story. The second part of the
Yeah.
story is yet to come. So like we mentioned earlier, this could get real good, like get real deep, you know, really get into these characters. So
yeah, I want to run through some comments here real quick before we bounce out of here. But we got our 50s in the house. We got our first Embo Honda Rebo Greedo Echo Tebow Mando Lando combo.
woo.
I hope they don't introduce any more O's in this franchise because I can't read anymore. More, I hope it says more anticipation that Rocky Horror Picture Show. Okay, I
Mhm.
get it. I get it. I get it. Man, the Mandalorian one's 5 seasons, at least
Yeah.
5 seasons. I mean, we're looking at a 13-year span, so they can spread it out a little
Yeah.
bit,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So, evil Ahsoka. Oh, that's yeah, good
Ooh.
evil Ahsoka. Kind of
Yeah.
talking about what you were saying, Chrissy. Super Rocker. There we go. And then I also seeing Rue Mall. Wait, it's dragged for. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it.
Everybody's into the mall puns. It's
Yeah,
great.
awesome. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah. Any final thoughts? I mean, I know we're all back here together next week, right?
Yep.
That's the plan.
Yep. The three of us
Yeah.
Excited.
again.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. So
They're theorizing there's a Bad Batch connection. I saw that theory going around. I thought that was fun.
I
So,
thought I
so
really don't want to say this out loud because I know what will happen to us, but they're talking about Rook Cass being the armorer online right now. I don't
Really?
know how if I
oh,
people are saying that they think Rook might be the armorer, like she becomes the armorer later on. I didn't look at I didn't read it, but I was like, that'd be kind of interesting. But
That would be.
just something to think
Yeah.
about out there. And that's not something I'm saying. I've seen that
No.
like popping up.
Yeah.
There's nothing I could tell you about that. So,
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I'm not mad
it would
at
be
it.
interesting. It would be
So
interesting to see what happens because I love Rook Cass. Like I think like she's the
Yeah.
best lieutenant Maul could have, and that's all I'll say. But she's exactly what you want as a leader, as your second, I think. So, but folks, let us know if you're watching this later. Let us know how you're feeling about the show, how you're excited. You got any mad theories for next week? What's going to happen in episode or chapters 5 and 6? And then this trio will be back together next week, and we will talk. I can't wait. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about these the next 2 episodes. I think off the top of my head, you'll enjoy them. So,
Oh man.
But
Stop it.
yeah. Yeah, it's they're all right. So